Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you on this July 29th, 2025. I've got all of your stories for your rush hour ride to work. And on today's episode, we have a full-blown gambling scandal breaking out in Major League Baseball. I'll share exactly what they are betting on. And then I'll have a Bachelor in Paradise recap, a short one. I'll tell you my thoughts from last night's episode. And then we'll get into Blake Lively and the content creators that were seeking sanctions after her frivolous sham subpoena. Well, that's been denied by the judge. They might have some more hope to seek sanctions in other ways, but we'll get into that story. And Blake's deposition has been delayed yet again, kicking the can down the road they are. And then, of course, we'll have your morning update on the Epstein cover-up and the hopeful aid that is coming into the Gaza Strip as starvation is wreaking that part of the world. So hopefully this is the beginning of a good story to share as really the world's coming together to say enough is enough with these innocent lives. So we're going to get into all of this right now on The Rush. Let's break it down. Yeah, this is it. All-star closer placed on leave amid sports gambling investigation. We now have several players involved, and there may be more on the way. Have a listen to this.
All right, we've got some breaking news out of Major League Baseball where Guardians closer Emmanuel Clase has been placed on a non-disciplinary paid leave as part of the league's sports gambling investigation. He's the second Guardians pitcher to be tied to the investigation alongside Luis Ortiz, who was also placed on leave. Clase, a three-time All-Star and finished third in AL Cy Young voting last season. Now this year, he's racked up 24 saves for the Guardians, and that is tied for fourth in the majors after finishing second last season and leading Major League Baseball in that category in 2023.
All right, so why is he being placed on leave and what are they investigating? Well, the TikTokers have come up with this idea. Guardians closer joins teammate Luis Ortiz on leave amid the sports betting investigation. This video shows what might be going on, which is that every one of his first pitches when he comes into the games is a ball, clearly way out of the strike zone. And again, if it were me pitching, I'd say, yeah, what do you want? I normally hit the batter on the first pitch, right? I'm Wild Thing. I'm not known for throwing strikes. But this is the major leagues. Usually they don't miss by that much, especially with that kind of consistency. So it might be that he's betting, or part of people betting, maybe he's getting a cut from bookies. I don't really know. Well, we're going to find this out, where he's saying, I'm going to miss. I'm going to throw a ball for the first pitch. So anyone who bets on that is going to have insider information, which you can't do. You can't do, because if you bet on that, then are you betting on blowing the World Series? It's not exactly the Black Sox scandal, but hey, it's all about integrity, right? And again, I feel a certain way about this because it's like, listen, these are millionaires. They don't need to make an extra buck. They have to control, the sanctity of the game, as it were. And boy, we have a sad story. I don't have all the updates on this yet, so I'm going to keep it brief, but an active shooter was in New York City yesterday. The gunman killed himself after opening fire in Manhattan. Multiple gunshot victims, one being an off-duty New York police officer. Don't have many other details. There's video circulating of it. They do have his name. Off-duty officers say 4 other people are dead from the shooting. The gunman was identified as 27-year-old Shane Tamura of Las Vegas, according to law enforcement sources. I mean, just wild stuff. It looks like it's out of a movie. And again, he was, I guess, known for having mental health issues. But we'll have more details of that story as things come out. Well, to take a turn from that to something more irreverent, we're going to cover Bachelor in Paradise. It was on last night. This is, I'll be honest, I'm giving you my take, I think it's a really good season. I'm actually enjoying watching it. Maybe it's because it's the first season in a very long time where I'm not sitting down taking notes. I'm just watching it in my little play pit with my 15-month-old baby, kind of just playing Legos and watching. He's not watching it, but I am. He's not doing devices, no screen time for him. He's like, why are they dressed as birds? But either way, you've got these couples, toxic indeed. Parisa, not her fault, and Brian. They win the bird challenge, Birds of Paradise, which is a plant, and they get the VIP suite, and then he's weird. He's a cock blocked himself, really. She's like, tell me your favorite color. He's like, don't be weird. And I was like, you just made it that way. So who knows if they're going to make it out. But I thought the real interesting stuff, Jeremy caught on a hot mic. Jeremy tries to disclose. Now, he's with this girl, Bailey. She's a bombshell. Bailey's a 10 out of 10. Nice person, cute. She's everything. But Susie came along. Jeremy went on a date with Susie. Then he had to choose, do I go with the girl I've been seeing, Bailey, or Susie? Now, this is last week. Susie bounces, and he just regrets that he didn't choose Susie. But now Susie's not in the picture, and they catch him off mic, or he thought he was off mic, saying, I wish Susie was still around, or whatever he said. So not a good look since he's now dating Bailey, but hey, them's the apples, right? This is the game you play. So I feel bad for Bailey because she shouldn't feel like she's second fiddle, right? But Bailey's a catch and a half. But either way, Jeremy not coming off looking great. But like I said, this is good spicy content. And speaking of spicy content, we've got a Dale Moss, former NFL football player, doing a plank, and April. From the Golden series, the Golden Bachelor, just so happens to be underneath that plank doing what's called a body shot. She didn't even know how to do it. She was like, do I go stomach down? He's like, no, just lay on your back. And there is the girl that Dale's actually dating, Kat Izzo, there cheering it on. And, it was quite a journey. I mean, look, if you can judge by the reactions behind, it escalated. Things were a little freaky out there. Now, Dale, a new girl comes along, which catches Dale's eye, and he has to decide between, Kat or the new girl. This is really what the show is all about. Letting people find a good connection and then introducing new people to mess with that connection. No wonder nobody makes it out of this thing alive. Okay, so I think leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's a good season. I'm not going to call it the best season of Paradise ever, but I think it's actually saving the show. I really enjoy the new way they're shooting it. I miss literally nothing except Jorge. I miss nothing else about the old way they did it. Anyhow, let's move it on from here. So we're going to go to Blake Lively. Drops her investigation into 3 YouTubers who covered the Justin Baldoni battle. So we already knew this. We covered it. They do these sham subpoenas, which is hilarious because she used her sort of, I don't want to call it a fake company, but Van Zandt, a defunct like LLC. She used that to get a subpoena in a non-existent case against Stephanie Jones. She used it as a way to extract private information from Stephanie Jones' employee, Jennifer Abel. We already knew that. Well, now she's using the subpoena process to try to get banking information from the YouTubers, the Twitter users, and kind of, suing, trying to get it through Google to get Google to give it to them. And it's just a complete mess. Now, did Blake actually think she could subpoena Google for user information and the users not get alerted to that? Did she think that was the case? When Van Zandt subpoenaed Stephanie Jones didn't alert Jennifer Abel, her employee, which I think is wrong. I think you're supposed to tell the person whose information you're giving up in a subpoena, right? So oopsie for Blake. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, these content creators spent a lot of money. Katie from Without a Crystal Ball said it cost her $5,000 in legal fees just to draft up the appropriate response. Now, I'm cheap. I probably would have done it on ChatGPT, but I probably would have had a bunch of legal errors. Don't do what I would have done. But no, to be fair, when I had Laura Owens coming after me, I did hire a lawyer. It cost me well over $10,000 just for some basic work because, my lawyer had to entertain Laura Owens' lawyer and, had to respond for me and all those billable hours. I mean, it can quickly add up when you're dealing with stuff like this. So the big deal is that I'm going to share what happened here. Here's the court case, the court documents, is that the judge has actually ruled against these content creators who are seeking sanctions. So here's what the judge had to say. Blake Lively represents that she has withdrawn her subpoenas to Google and Twitter Corp. as to certain accounts which are the subject of the motions to quash. Therefore, the motions must be denied as moot to the extent that the seek to quash the subpoenas as to the relevant accounts. I feel like that was a typo. To the extent that the motions also seek relief on behalf of other non-parties or seek sanctions and costs, the motions are denied. As a general matter, only recipients of a subpoena have standing to seek a protective order quashing or modifying the subpoena. Movants have not shown any personal interest in whether Google or Twitter produce documents regarding other individuals or accounts, especially given that Lively has withdrawn the subpoenas. As to Movants, there's no cause for the court to award sanctions or costs. The motion to quash are denied. Now, again, I'm no legal expert, but it seems as though the judge is saying, listen, Blake Lively, she wanted to remove the subpoenas, so no, you can't sanction her, even though they did all of this work to respond to it. So it was almost like Blake Lively threw this metaphorical punch at these content creators, forced them to spend days, and in some cases, dealing with someone who's an A-lister, who's got all of this money. You feel like you might get dragged into court. That makes nobody feel good. It messes up your week. And to think she can just get away with it, I mean, there should be some sort of, again, I don't know, way to, justify if you try to suck someone into a court case, them being able to, bill you for their time. But that's just not the world we live in. So in other news, being reported by the Daily Mail, Lively's scheduled deposition has been delayed. She will no longer be questioned by Baldoni's attorneys on July 31st. So that has been pushed back. This is shocking. This has been pushed back several times. I don't think this is a good look for Blake Lively. I don't know if they're waiting for new evidence to come in or what, but it's like shit or get off the pot, my lady. Here was a thought that some, people very upset about this targeting of these content creators. Because say what you want, but these YouTubers, Twitter folks, TikTok, they put their heart and soul into just trying to be fair. I think everybody that was subpoenaed has done a damn good job of trying to be fair. Really, I really do believe that. And for them to, be rewarded with these subpoenas, not exactly kind. And then the audience, of course, new reasons to see Blake Lively kind of bullying, or is what they feel, bullying them and having more confirmation that this is the type of person she is. So someone said, "Dear content creators that got subpoenaed, I can't give you legal advice, but if it were me, I'd file a complaint immediately. Anyone who's a content creator and got served a sham subpoena from Ezra Hudson needs to report her to the California State Bar. It's free. They already have all the evidence they need. The subpoena and the letter were where Ezra blatantly lies. Just as a reminder, Ezra Hudson holds a license to practice law. That license is a responsibility, not a weapon. If she's abusing legal tools to intimidate and silence people, that's a direct violation of the standards she swore to uphold as a lawyer." Now, I don't know if she was trying to bully these individuals, but for sure they were kicking tires. And by that, I mean they didn't have any probable cause to reach out to these content creators, and again, which is why I'm so insulted. We got the silver play button, we got the neon lights in here, the great lighting. I slick my hair back, and I can't even get subpoenaed. What's a man got to do out here? No, again, I'm kidding. I would rather not be subpoenaed. Although I have to say, when I saw my friends in the articles, I was like, dang, I'm a little jealous, but I'm happy for them getting a little publicity. Mine as well, considering all that they've gone into. No, again, please don't come after me. We're happy to stay out of the court system here. So either way, those are your updates as far as right now. Again, there'll be more to discuss as the judge may rule. I don't know for sure. I'm going to wait for the legal experts to chime in. I don't know for sure if there will be any other ways to seek sanctions, and it could just be that the judge is denying this because Blake pulled out of her subpoenas. Not really sure. But what is she waiting to do? She's pulled out of all of these subpoenas. I mean, is she filming a new season of the Travel Hood of the Sister Pants or whatever the heck it's called? Is there a new Gossip Girl that I don't know about? Gossip Girl, The Golden Years? The gossip millennials, I don't know, XOXO. I have no idea why she can't make it to this deposition, but it makes me think this might have been their final chance to find some evidence before they settle this one. But there's definitely no chance they're going to do that, right? I've got no idea. All right, coming up next, we're going to have your updates on all the political sort of things going on in the world, that being the Epstein cover-up and the aid that is now literally flying its way into Gaza. All of that coming next.